Hello and welcome to another video of Fixline, and today in our garage we have Skoda Yeti, which is, I don't know what year is it or what engine is it, but between 1.9 or 2 liter TDI, something like that.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's most likely 2 liter TDI, and we have, well, loads of things to change. First of all, well, we need to change the clutch and the flywheel. Then we got the control arm, wheel bearing, coil spring, and front brake discs and brake pads as well. So it's gonna take a wee while for us to do it, but hopefully we'll manage and we'll make a nice video of it.
So first we're gonna remove the wheels. He's trying to adjust his new camera. So he's probably do the same thing. We're gonna remove the wheels. Remove the drive shafts. And this is 4x4. This is 4x4, so when we're gonna need to remove the prop shaft because it has a prop shaft. So yes, let's get into it. So I managed to remove one of the drive shaft bolts and remove the ball joint 3 bolts and roll bars. So there now is just left for removing the drive shaft. This another bolts right there, if you can see them, right, this ones. They are spline socket, I think. So even that one, the middle one, you need to have a socket like I show you. You might have on another side. So that's 24 mil spline socket with a lot of teeth. That's, I think, 12 teeth or something. It's called 12 teeth socket. So I got a new kit. So that's for all the wild cars kit. Some is different. So then now just to remove the spline key there. How many is there? Around 6, I think. 6 spline socket. Yeah, I get in there. So I got the drive shaft out and some spline sockets. I think it was a 10 mil or whatever, size 10. I don't know how you measure them, and I don't even know where I put that. Yes, it's a socket like this. You can get the whole set with all the Allen keys, spline sockets, and how is that called? Hex keys? Hexagon? Whatever. So I got the drive shaft out. Basically on this side I kinda almost done. I think
I am not even started yet.
He's over there struggling with the ball joint. So I might now jump on the top and start removing all what is on this side. And it's so warm in here. And there he is.
Still don't know what I'm doing. I need to get this out, but how?
How do you like that job?
10 out of 10. It's fantastic. Love being mechanic. It's
The best job you ever can get.
apart from broken bolts and the rest of it.
I'm missing 10 mil sockets every time you're using it. Okay, let's start with all this play side.
So I managed to remove, well, we did it together because it was a wee bit of struggle to take the ball joint out of the knuckle or whatever it's called. So what's left is to remove them bolts and one bolt over there. I think it's size 17 or 18, but because I'll be replacing the arm on this side, so I'm just gonna remove it completely, and it will be easier access for me to remove even the drive shaft. So I already removed the anti-roll bar, which is quite easily came off, and usually in most of the cars it's really a struggle just to unscrew the bolt. So my light doesn't really work. Now it's better. So yeah, I stripped off the brake discs and the caliper as well, because we'll be replacing the brake discs and brake pads as I mentioned previously. So yeah, so now left remove two bolts and try to remove the arm, the lower arm, and see how it goes. There's my light. So remove them two bolts. Now it's time to pull out the arm. Hopefully it's gonna come off without any struggles. But okay, this one is off. Managed to remove the arm, which is here. Well, the bushes looks worn out, but that's why. Well, that one doesn't look so bad, but this one is got the cracks in it. And oh well, yeah, it's bad. So yeah, so to remove it I was struggling with this end, but I just pushed towards that side and it just came off. Well, it took me a while to realize that, but yeah, did it. Now just to remove the drive shaft, ignore all the knocking sounds, and there you go, that's a drive shaft off. So I don't know what's next stage, because pretty much done on this side. He stripped all that inside the engine bay. And now he's trying to remove the
bolts are quite rusty.
because we need to replace the wheel bearing as well, and the bolts are really rusty as you can see in here. So hopefully that's the bearing we need to replace, because we only got one, and
That's look worse than another one.
the other one doesn't look really that bad, and it spins without any noise really. So come on, you can do it. So he's trying to press out the bearing now. And in previous video I said you don't really need the press, but you actually need it. It doesn't matter what kind of bearing you have.
No, you can, that one you can press out with the sledgehammer.
The wheel bearing press makes it much easier. So that's why we're good we have one. Because it's really difficult to remove it without. It all depends the state of the bearing. Because I remember when we swapped on my Audi, it was really seized, or a Skoda, I don't remember which one was it.
I think it was Skoda.
And it's loose. Easy as that, if you have the right. The wheel bearing bolt was kind of seized, and it starts spinning in place when you try to remove. So we hit with the hammer on top of the head just to make it to bite on it.
So if I was hitting on the top, as was start spinning, because we put that and was start spinning around, so you hit as much as you can on the top and then try to put your hammer in it to make like a new, kind of like a new shape of threads inside. Threads? The head.
So it could bite off, and yeah. So I don't know if you want to put the new one now in or we carry on with the spring, because
I just clean and I can carry on with the spring.
Because to remove the strut, it needs two people really. Well, you can manage alone, but
but on the top mount you have bolts, nuts.
yeah, he's cleaning the bearing like inside where the bearing stays. And if you watched the video so far, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel to see more videos. And that actually would help us as well continue with the work we are doing. And yeah. So he placed the new bearing, now just put the bolts in and looks way better now. The company of the bearing is Napa. So
that's all.
That's how it looks. The state of the old one. You can hear the noise.
Bad. Okay.
So there we go. So now we can carry on with the spring.
Like new, kinda. Okay, carry on with the spring now. So far it goes good.
All the bolts removed. Well, I'm not gonna say anything because whenever you say things like that, then it goes.
Okay. So if you ever the removal mount, need to be careful because it's another bolts goes underneath. They usually stay when you're trying to remove from the top and bolts here, but then now it was spinning all of them free, so you had to hold the from the bottom on the top where it goes there. It's kind of awkward place to hold them because the spring is in the way and it's just awkward. So, and even if you replace the spring, I recommend to replace the top mount as well. It'd be easier because if you're gonna get struggle with that, if it's gonna start spinning, especially if you're alone, it's kind of difficult to hold in here and spin, trying to remove the bolts from the top. So if you're replacing the spring, replace the mount as well, even if it's not gonna spin. Even if you successfully remove that, but in the future you might need to do again. And if it starts spin, you're again in trouble. So it's better remove them and just remove the mount and just put new ones.
So the spring was broken or what's wrong with it?
Because you can see that's supposed to be here and you can see it snapped. So just because of that small piece, we're replacing that. It's gonna be, it's better to replace it and that's it. So that's all how it looks without nothing.
On the other side I had to take this full arm off because they will be replacing it as well. And yeah, so now we can, I think, either swap the spring.
No, the spring I will replace later on. Just then now we can carry on with the gearbox and clutch and flywheel.
And that's the 4-wheel drive as well. So
it has prop shaft.
So that's gonna be a bit tricky.
Not really, because it's not in the middle. Because you don't need to remove really nothing to get access to it. Just you're gonna remove that. Basically, we're gonna remove the engine cover, undershay. But that's because either way you're gonna remove anyway. It's not something very difficult, hopefully.
Well, let's see. That's the struggles after spending 3 hours in the garage already.
So we have to remove first the under tray, which one holds some bolts here, some bolts missing, and some bolts somewhere here as well. Then get to the gearbox, remove the prop shaft, and remove basically all the bolts from the gearbox to the engine. Hopefully that's it, but I'm already tired. So, well, he's underneath, and I removed now the pipe that goes to the clutch cylinder, and then now we're gonna remove them from the starter, the live cable, and then basically removing all the bolts that holds the gearbox to the engine, as I say previously. He's crawling underneath and do the
He explained the job that he's gonna do, but apparently I'm doing it, so...
That's how it works. I explain, you work.
And it waddles away, waddle, till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to remove the starter motor now. Important is trying.
So I just removed the under tray, and that's it. Job well done. No. So I don't know what he's doing here.
I just removed the electrical cables from there, and then now I'm gonna remove that bolt.
To remove the starter.
You know what you can do? Remove the pipe shaft, pipe shaft, whatever it calls. That's easy. Easy squeezy, lemon squeezy.
Yes, it is. So he's trying to remove the prop shaft. I don't know if you can see it from there. You should be able to. And it's really awkward place.
Especially when you don't have a lift.
Yes, especially when you don't have a lift. So we had to put it in gear, otherwise it just spins around. So the bolts are 10 mil. The 10 meter bolt. No, it's 10 mil bolts, which need sockets like this. It's like multiple points. 12. So yeah, I'm just enjoying his struggles. There you go, one bolt out. 3 or 4 to go.
Oh, hopefully that's free. 1, 2, break free. And 1, 2, break free.
So he disconnected the prop shaft, which was on 3 bolts, and so he had to disconnect. He had to go like from the back side. So now I'm gonna remove the bolts from the gearbox to the engine. There is some fire going on. Yeah, so let's carry on. Anyway, so yeah, there is bolts, I don't know, size 18 maybe. We'll see. No, I think it's 18. And there is one bolt here, another one is here, and could be on the side, and we need to remove this bracket off. That's from the gearbox mount. So yeah, so I'll just try to remove them bolts. So we removed it was 6 bolts from the gearbox on the bottom. There was 2 from the gearbox mount, and then 3 from the gearbox, and there was another one from the transfer box, I think. It's really hard to see anything down there. But now he's putting the car jack under the engine, and we'll try to disconnect the bolts from the top.
Okay.
So that should be all good.
And now just hold the gearbox. Another jack to hold the gearbox as well. Jack sparrow. Does it fit? Another one is quite long, so I don't know if I can get access. Awkward. That's a bit bad. It's a bit awkward. Nah, but I cannot get. Might try to use. I imagine that's all. That's all. So then now I think just disconnect the from over here.
So that's another engine mount that's holding the gearbox, and hopefully removing them 3 bolts. The gearbox should be loose from the engine as well. And then we'll be able to replace the clutch and the flywheel. we tried to remove the gearbox, but there was another 2 bolts holding on this end, which we've managed to find it. There was a bracket as well that we had to take it off first, and it was on the bolts like this. You can see it was like a metal guard or something. That's the one.
I find a problem. I cannot find the socket in there.
And it's really awkward place to get it.
Maybe just to let it. No, we have a problem. Yes, we do have a problem. So we managed to remove the gearbox.
And
It was kind of difficult to do so because of the transfer box. So we had to kind of lose the subframe.
Kinda, we had to.
Well, we have to
lose the
subframe and remove from the anti-roll bar linkage or whatever. We had to remove it because it was on the way and we was remove the gearbox. So well, then now that's the clutch and the flywheel. So yeah, so he's gonna remove the, well, he's gonna explain better. So, and I'm removing the cylinder, which one presses the gearbox. This is what the clutch. That's just holds by 3 bolts by 9mm. That's pretty easy to do so. It'd be nice to clean it inside. I don't got the time when the customer wants the car tomorrow and it's already past midnight. I think it's a midnight or something like that. Still have loads of things to do on the car. So yeah, let's go with the old one. Let's go with that, and that's the new one. I think we don't have new bolts for that. Imagine we don't. Doesn't seem like we have a new bolts for that. Well, I kinda was thinking that we have new bolts for that. We're gonna reuse the old ones then. Just put back the bolts. That's basically all you need to do. Just 3 bolts to change that. That doesn't need to be very tight. Doesn't be tight. And that's the new one. Then. And yeah, now I just gonna wait for him to do the clutch on the flywheel. So yeah, it's a bit awkward because of the transfer box to get it out. But if I need to remove the transfer box, that's because it has a seat that goes in there and connects in there and there. If I just gonna remove that, it's gonna leak oil, and the customer didn't get the oil for it, so that's how it goes now. That's how we need to get it back in.
So what I'm doing now is just removing the clutch, which is held on by 9mm. I think it's 12 point or 16 maybe.
No, that's the 12 points.
Bolts. And then I'm gonna remove the flywheel as well and put the new one in. I think that's all the bolts. Maybe not. Why it doesn't wanna come off? So just with the pray bar it was a bit stuck. Managed to remove, so that's the old clutch. It's not really in a bad shape.
The question is, how bad is the flywheel? Might be flywheel bad. That bad. What's the? How it was the disc? Do you remember how it was? That way or that way?
It just fell off.
Oh, okay. Heat problem. You can see it was overheating by the plate. It has blue marks all over there. And doesn't look as being good. Just look. That's something loose. That I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Is that supposed to be, I think, all over the pin in there? If you can see the pin, so that's supposed to be all over them. So that's loose. If I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's supposed to be that way, but it isn't. Because I can see the plate here is higher than somewhere here. High. So it was like all that. It's like that. So if I can explain, all that plate, it's not like straight, it's just like that.
It even looks like warped a bit.
Because I can see here, it's less space that is over here. So all the plates, it's a bit like that.
It's in the angle.
It's in the angle. So yeah, well, the customer wants to change, and I can see you can see all the blue marks. That means it was overheating or whatever. You can smell like burning.
Okay, so now it's time to remove the flywheel. The flywheel holds by the spline sockets bolts again, which is gonna be big ones. Yeah, so we didn't film all the process while we removed the gearbox because it really took us a lot of time, and this video then would be like 2 hours long if you had to film.
2 hours long just because we're removing the gearbox.
It falls down.
Just don't put your hands underneath the clutch, because if it fell off, it's gonna be, because it's kind of heavy.
Do we have any bolts for the flywheel?
We do have.
So that's the flywheel off and all the...
Yes. It doesn't matter that bolts, we have new one.
So that's the flywheel off, and that's how it looks without the flywheel, if anyone's interested in that.
It's not really that bad, but I can see the burning marks, but the flywheel itself is not so bad really.
Does the teeth looks?
Because that's fine.
And that's dual mass flywheel.
It's not, because well, you can see it's massive. It's massive. But I always prefer the single one. They are cheaper. They doesn't break. They basically last longer than a dual mass.
That's the new.
Dual mass is more for like smooth. When you stop the engine, when you drive it, then I'll just put in new
one. And also we had to disconnect, just to remove the gearbox, we had to disconnect the intercooler pipe as well, because it was in the way.
I just want to see how is the thing I have for the alignment. I just want to see how does that thing work.
Since all the clutch fell off at the same time, I didn't see which way it went. Or maybe I do, I can just
rewind.
That's the new bolts, and that's the new flywheel.
Kind of heavy thing. That works fine.
That's brand new, hopefully.
It doesn't have movement, because that way he can spin. Can be loose, like when you press like this. It's heavy.
So back to my cave.
Just try when you put in, not touch the
plate.
The plate itself.
That's heavy.
No, another way. Because you see, this hole needs to be with this hole. So, something like this. the worst thing is not so very light. Just want to help.
I just need one bolt as soon as possible. There you go.
Easy. Just don't tie it too much with that one bolt, because you need to go crossways.
If I manage to.
That's it.
So, I don't know if you can see, but these bolts already have the thread lock on it. Good.
What? Am I blind?
Am I blind, or I don't see any holes? Because I don't. How does... Well, there is 2 holes on the bottom, but how does that work? Something's not right. How to take it out?
Oh, okay. Tie that. It doesn't align to then another bolt.
No.
So just remove that bolt then. Just be careful that flywheel doesn't flow. Or maybe just remove the flywheel for now. You know what? Just remove for now. Okay, just leave it like that. Just stop the
because I think it goes other way around.
Okay.
Because them to put the flywheel on. So there is 2 bolts, have different spaces between them. So just try to align them together, and that's
just all 6 or 5.
Well, the rest of it have even spaces between them. Let me see. Oh, there you go.
Fixing the car in 24 hours.
It's already midnight, or close to midnight, or maybe it is already, I don't know.
You wish it be midnight, because it's already, well, midnight.
So close enough.
And we still need to do a lot.
Well,
that's what it is.
The most time consuming is gonna be put the gearbox back in. But once it's in, just put everything back together, and that should be, which is gonna be.
Because the worst thing to put the transfer box, because this is 4x4, so
Tighten by hand, just to hold it in place, and then I can lovely wobbly.
I need more coffee and
Or
kind of sleeping.
Or sleep.
If you go sleep, we'll not finish this car. Or you'll be fancy to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not really.
So when you tighten the flywheel bolts, just try to tighten them in like a crossway. So if you tighten this one, then go for that one, then this one, and that one, and then like that, and like that. That should do.
And if somebody knows how many newtons must be torqued, just let us know for the next time, because now we don't know.
We just use feelings.
Feelings of the gun. Are you sure you tight?
Maybe.
As I didn't see the gun making tuk 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 tuk.
But I don't want to strip the bolts because it started just a wee bit. Or maybe just try to do by hand.
But by hand, I don't think you can manage, because it's gonna spin the whole.
Because the bolts look really Chinesium.
And they always look like that.
So if I go too hard, it might just round them.
Don't go too hard.
I can try just by the hand and see how it is.
How it performs.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Watch your knuckles.
So it's time to put the clutch now on.
That's how it goes, remember. No.
You can't really see anything. So we put the clutch on. We had a little bit of struggle to get there because the flywheel and the clutch are two different companies. The flywheel is made by Sachs or whatever it's called, and the clutch kit is by Look. So they had like a smaller holes for the pins down here, so we had to make them a little bit bigger just to be able to put on the clutch and the pressure plate on the flywheel. And we got the centering tool, that's the universal one. It's, well, we tried to make it as center as possible, but it's kinda wiggling in place. We tried different sizes, but we just couldn't get the right one. Maybe that's the whole centering toolkit is kinda wonky, but looks good now. So we'll try to put the gearbox back in and just put everything else. So it's 5 o'clock in the morning and we are still doing Skoda. You just put the gearbox. It was really a big struggle to put in just because of that transfer box or whatever.
The transfer box time.
Because it's 4x4, so it was really a struggle.
So if you, well, I recommend if you do it, if you want to do that, better do it on a ramp, because you basically need to remove the subframe, remove the gearbox, transfer box.
Subframe, and we had to remove the intercooler pipe as well, just to get access to it, really, just to pull it out and put it back in. So now we are at the stage that we put the clutch in, gearbox.
We are in the stage, go to sleep.
Pretty much. We are really knackered, but we gotta finish this car as soon as possible. So yeah, now just put everything back together and
Try not to fall asleep.
exactly.
If you can see, he was lowering the subframe, still back. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. It seems to be a bit out of place. I don't know even which way the bolts go, because it's a bit, because you can see one bolt here, that's another two, one that goes through that, and one is right over there some yeah, so it's kind of difficult to see. I don't know how to really show you, because it's not.
Just finished bolting in the intercooler pipe, and what's left in there is just the air intake, and I think that's pretty much it now, with the battery as well. And what he's doing now is putting the prop shaft in, or at least trying, and I can pretty much work on this end just to put the new arm and put the new brake discs and pads, and good to go. just finished putting the arm. All what's left is just put the ball joint inside the knuckle, but first I'm gonna attach the drive shaft. I don't know if you can see, because I don't really have much lighting in here. So what I'm gonna do is just tighten the drive shaft bolts, which is, I don't know if you can see. It's there, maybe, some shadows. And then I'm gonna tighten the drive shaft into the knuckle. There you go.
All basically is done. New spring, new bearing, new clutch, flywheel, new suspension arm on another side, new brake pads, new brake discs, and basically all coming in pieces. That's all. I just need to put the engine cover. And just we're gonna have a look at the radio because it doesn't work. Well, the customer was saying that it doesn't work, so we're gonna have a look at that one. So it was a long night. So we start working at 4 o'clock afternoon and we finish now basically around 11 in the morning. So a long hours, we are dying from inside. So that's all. So he's got a new arm over there. I don't know what he's playing with the pistol here, with the gun.
So we're finally done with the car. We put everything back together and we skipped most of the part because it was just overwhelming for us to film all the bits and pieces. So it was pretty straightforward anyway, just the same way as we removed, we just put back together. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel to see more of our work, or in the future maybe we're gonna start making our own builds. So that's why it's really important that you subscribe to our channel, so it would give us more motivation and inspiration as well, just to carry on with what we are doing. So see you in the next video.